Hi, welcome back to the Hallway Pass podcast. I'm Charles.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Hernandez, school psychologist.
So today we wanted to talk to you about your experience as a school psychologist and like any tips you can give students on what they struggle on and what you see people struggle on the most. So are there any tips that you can give to new students to deal with stress and like how to lessen it?
Yeah. I mean, I wanted to start by saying like stress is one normal and natural response, and you're always going to have stress. But yeah, stress is something that's we're all going to experience for some degree or another. I would say my biggest recommendation when we're talking about stress is just planning ahead, thinking ahead, strategizing, just because I think you know what it is to procrastinate, and that's probably one of the main things that leads to the stress rising. So I would definitely say planning, organizing, and knowing yourself, right? Like if you know the type of person you are, you got to build strategies around that, right? If you know you're like a major procrastinator, then you have to build the skills to overcome those areas, because everyone has strengths and everyone has areas of weakness, right? So just there's so many different ways that you can plan, whether it's for like an upcoming test. We're big on project based here, right? So I feel like assignments or projects, exhibition take time, right? It's something that you have to like progressively work on, and just like having that plan of like what's going to go first, what's going to go second, how do I break down this specific assignment or task into smaller parts. I think it's going to be helpful with first reducing the stress, preventing it, I would say. But yeah.
It's like time management?
Yes, for sure.
Well, you kind of just went over the time management tips, but healthy coping strategies. If like some students can't handle their time management, they try and it's really not working.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
Anything you can talk about from there?
Yeah. Like healthy coping strategies in like a general sense.
Yeah.
I think that relates to like having good mental health practices. I think identifying like what are the things that bring joy to your life. I think it's like a good balance to the day-to-day things that are going to cause stress to you, that are going to bring anxiety into your life, right? So just identifying what are those things that bring you happiness, joy, and of course it's going to vary from person to person. Some of the things that come to mind, like some people really enjoy reading comic books, novels, drama, suspense, whatever it is. I've noticed here a lot of kids like to like draw or even doodle. Like if something's really stressful, like doodling, I think anything that takes your mind off of that thing, even if it's for 5-10 minutes. I've seen kids even here knitting. Like that's a new thing I've seen like a lot of people are doing. Skateboarding. I like personally identified like things that I do on a daily basis, a weekly basis, and a monthly basis that I think help keep me balanced. So just having those things in practice. So like for me, I like to listen to an audiobook every day and go on daily walks. And that's just kind of what like recenters me every day and like gets me ready to like end my day and like wrap up and like, you know, give you like a refresher. Going to the gym I know also helps, and then just seeing like people that are really positive around you, because you have a lot of people around you that bring a lot of positive and negative energy, but surrounding yourself with you know, friends, family that's going to kind of help recharge you, almost give you positive energy, are good ways to like do it on a regular basis, however, you know, whether it's weekly, monthly.
That's good advice for making a routine for someone,
Yeah.
so that you're constantly feeling balanced. You don't maybe, do you feel like that helps with keeping all your emotions balanced? I don't really know how to explain it, but like sometimes I feel like I keep my emotions in like and they build up and then it kind of like explode at some point?
Yeah, I think definitely thinking about like a very intentional way of letting your emotions out. Like if you want to journal, that's one way. I think for me, I do it in like internalizing as I'm driving or doing my walks. I kind of process, but you also have friends that you can talk to or parents, and sometimes you have like one friend that you talk to for this kind of advice, another friend for like this kind of advice, and just tapping into like different people who can like support you in those difficult moments.
I have a quick question. What happens when it becomes too much of a dependency and more of an avoidance than a coping strategy?
So let me understand this. So what happens when it's more of an avoidance?
Yeah.
Like in like avoidance of like work avoidance or avoidance not dealing with that problem?
Either one.
Yeah. So I think what I'm thinking about right now is like how to maintain yourself in a balance point.
Yeah.
Right? When you're talking about avoidance, it's like when there's something major happening in your life that you have to address. And I think I wanted to talk about that too, like identifying when something is an actual problem, right? Because there are going to be moments where like, oh, this is beyond me. This is beyond what my friend can help talk me through, right? Like you're going to have your day-to-day things that stress you, like, oh, I just have a final coming up. I have this test coming up that like you're stressed, you're going to work through it. But then there's things that are going to linger. Like I see here at the high school and even with my older friends now, like one major thing that's super stressful and could be something that you need professional help with are like heartbreaks. And you don't think about that. You think like heartbreaks and boyfriend, girlfriend drama like is like normal and natural, which it is, but not everybody handles it really well. And that can lead to stress. That can lead to like anxiety, depression. That can have so many other issues that it stems to. And like you said, like if you're going to be avoiding like that example, right? You are going to spill into so many other areas of your life. So I think when you figure out like, okay, this is something that's beyond me, like I really can't deal with this. This is dealing with, I think like two indicators for me that this is, am I tapping into some things that like are very true to what you guys know?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Because I do see this for reals here at Da Vinci, that it's pretty major. But once you like identify, like you stop doing things that you truly like to do. Like for instance, if you used to go to the gym all the time, you stop going. If you used to hang out with your friends and you're like now avoiding certain people, like that's an indicator that something's majorly impacting your life, that you need help beyond the normal situation. And that can look like just, talking to a therapist. Doesn't have to be anything major. It could maybe be like 2-3 sessions. We're good to go. We processed it. We figured it out. But also I've seen where like a breakup can lead to a student being in like major depression where they even need medication. Like it goes that far. And you don't think about that something that could maybe be perceived as like, oh, there's just like puppy love, teenage love. But it could go all that way. And I have seen that. And it's pretty major to see and understand that teenage problems are still big problems. Just because you're a teenager, I think sometimes adults tend to minimize them, but they're big problems too, and they need to be dealt with depending on the level of them.
Yeah, definitely. Just because just of our age, like we're younger too, so we haven't had much experience with that. So whatever we experience, we feel it very intensely too, and it could be our first time or we're very new to it as well. And especially like for kids younger, like my little sister, what she's dealing with to me is nothing compared to what I'm dealing with. But for her at her age and her mental state, I guess, and her maturity, it's a lot for her. So I think it's good that we always recognize that whatever we're dealing with is valid and our feelings.
100% valid. Yeah.